Hey guys, Morgan from Pneumatic Musketeers here. As you may notice, I'm not using my computer's webcam because that thing only wants to do 720p or like 4K, which is really bad on a USB 2 connection. Anyway, I have here a unboxing video, and this isn't like the unboxing where I had already unboxed it with the tar. This is actually, I haven't even pulled this out of the shipping package yet. So I've been teasing this for a little while, that I've picked this up, and this is specifically, well, I picked this up to use specifically at Autumn Justice, which is the upcoming Stag Ops game at the end of this month, October. It's October 27th and 28th, I believe, but I'm not pulling out a calendar to check quite now. So, let's get... Alright, there we go. So, big box. Is this going around the back? Yes, it is. So, what this is a Knights Armament Stoner LMG. I picked this up from Revolt Airsoft. I like ordering from local guys over bigger places. Drew price matched e-bike, so I figured why not. So this is actually a lot of little styrofoam bits around it from shipping. Let's see what we got here. We got magazine. Alright. A little box mag. We got a standard plastic foregrip. You can buy these for like $5. They don't even have the pin through them. They just have, I wish I had remote zoom on this thing. They just have a little piece that screws down and up. I'm not going to be using this, honestly. I have like 5 of these things. I picked up a PTS Magpul RVG, which I will be using for this gun. And then we've got kind of the big deal, looks like we got an unjailing rod too. Big deal, the gun itself. Ooh, that thing's, it's got some heft to it. Oh god, this is like, oh god, static everywhere. I'm just gonna cut the next little bit out as I'll like speed it up as I get all this stuff off. But before that, it also has a little unjamming rod, which is cool. Okay. Now that I officially need to vacuum my room behind my camera because it looked like it snowed in here, here is the KAA Knights Armament Ares LMG. It's nice and heavy, feels well constructed, looks nice. I'm not sure what this battery bit is doing pressed up through here. I'll deal with that in a bit. It comes with these integrated rail covers. I have no idea how you take them off, but it does have these rail covers. It's got flip up rear sight with a fixed, more styrofoam, fixed front sight. Standard A2 birdcage flash hider. Actually, it's not quite a standard birdcage flash hider. It doesn't have the little flat bits on the side. I believe this is 14mm negative. Front sight is removable with a single screw. Overall, it feels really well constructed. Let's see. There's how you flip up. Hop up unit. The hop up unit in these things, let's see, let's get up a bit closer. Right here. It's a modified M249 style hop up. It's not the best, honestly. There are issues with this style of hop up. It's got a vertical nub. However, as I showed in review, I have ready to be installed. I will be testing this with the stock barrel. Then with this one, the Z-Shot Knights Armament Stoner hop-up, which doesn't use a vertical nub but uses a more standard system on a Prometheus R-hopped barrel. So I have that ready to be installed. I have a bunch of parts ready to be installed, actually. But, you know, I'm going to leave this stock for just a minute first. See, how do you... that's how you open that bit. There's how you attach the replica bullets if you are using them, which I actually have a stack of here as well. So, oh god, there's so much styrofoam on this thing. So we've got the stock. It's a little bit wobbly. Quite a little bit wobbly. It's kind of cool looking. It looks like, yeah, it only doesn't feel like locking in place in the slightest now. Come on. What's going on there? Not sure why it's not locking back. It looks like it's a 6-position stock. Oh, I think I actually read about this. If you got... Yeah, there's a thing in here that doesn't like coming down. Oh, I think I almost heard it locking. Anyway, this stock having issues is a known thing. Yeah, so stock kind of already busted straight out of the thing. No big deal. So one thing this does have is a quick detach removable barrel by pressing this button. The whole barrel assembly, oh god, getting stuck in my chair. The barrel assembly pulls right out, which is nice, easy to change out. And when you pull this out, this is also how you get to your battery, which is located right down this tube. It is a easily buffer-sized battery. You can see, kind of looking through the holes in it. I don't know how you can see that. There's wire through there. So that runs all the way back here. So there's going to be no issues putting really any sort of battery in here. It's going to have plenty of room if I can just get the actual battery clip. The little mini Tamiya to come out. It got a bit stuck. There we go. Alright. Yeah. It got pulled through the side a bit somehow. Not really sure how that occurred, to be honest. Whatever. Wonder what that little button does. Oh, that's alright. I know what that button is. So, I'm gonna put the barrel grouping back on now. There. It's actually not wanting to go any further for some reason. Ah, there we go. There's at least that piece. No. Ah. Right, to get the barrel in, you actually have to depress this to let the barrel slide in. Alright, so now it's locked back together. There's a lot of pressing and popping to get things together. Oh, cool. The official Knights Armament, product license thing and the Made in Hong Kong sticker are both removable. To put in the feed tube for the magazine, you pull up. You can't even see most of this. There. Hey, that worked much better. To put in the magazine feed tube, you go there. So let's actually click in the magazine. See, how does this go in exactly? Probably like that. Alright. So, magazine appears to be installed now. And to install the feed tube, you flip this up, put that over, snap it in, and drop it down. I believe that's... Is that locked down? Yep. I think. Yeah. There we go. I believe that is now locked in. Yep. Alright. So that is how the magazine is installed. Overall, looks pretty nice. It's a fairly hefty gun. It's definitely lighter than an M249, but it's definitely hefty. Bigger than my M4, definitely. So I do have more attachments and stuff. This front sight, or rear sight, sorry, is removable, which is good because I actually plan on installing a holographic sight. I'm not a huge fan of iron sights. Honestly, I prefer zoom sights. Actually, this is a pretty nice rear sight. I'm glad I'll have this thing around. In general, I prefer zoom sights, but the sight that I would prefer to be running on this gun is not currently available to me. So, EOTech will have to do. I would prefer to be running a Elcan Spectre, a replica one of those, but that won't really work. So, holographic sight. Well, yeah, it's a little bit closer in sight picture than I think I would prefer. It's also super off to the side. Looks like it's actually going to line up pretty accurately with the front sight. Looks pretty decent with the EOTech on there. I'm going to be doing some upgrades internally because there are a few issues with this gun, which I will go over in the shooting review more in depth. But the base thing is, it's got a pretty sluggish rate of fire, and the piston apparently gets chewed up really easily. It's not that high grade of a piston, so I have replacements for all that stuff. I've got better motor, gear set, piston, all that fun stuff that's going to make this gun a absolute beast, hopefully. So we're going to see how it is with a shooting test.
Alright guys, apologies for the little bit of background noise that's going on. Finally getting the shooting test of the Stoner 96 out, the classic Army one. Currently I'm running a 7.4 volt 25 to 50C lipo in here. I wouldn't say it's fully charged. I've been shooting it a little bit because this thing's really fun to shoot, but it's pretty well charged. Just using that 7.4, I'm not seeing the sluggish rate of fire people have been complaining about. It's not a fast rate of fire, but I don't need a BB laser. This is a suppressive weapon. It's only got a 1200 round box mag. Doesn't need to be that crazy. So first I'm going to flick it to auto wind. And it'll be finished right then. Alright, so now that's wound, I've got fake set of bullets in here. I actually really like them. I've got a Mobius camera on here, which I'll be recording kind of the accuracy, the spread of it, because I don't have my assistant here like I did last time. So, I've also got the front sight removed currently, just so that the camera can actually see what's happening. I have a red dot on here because turns out I don't really want or need a zoom scope on here. Still lines up nicely with the red dot. So I've got a external. I haven't done any internal modifications to it externally. I've put on a extended stock, fancy minimalist stock to replace the previous one. Added a bipod, a nice foregrip, and a sound amplifier. So currently I don't have the hop-up dialed in here in the slightest. First, I'm going to do some chrono testing. This is shooting at 0.25 Elite Force biodegradables. So I tested this previously, it was shooting at almost exactly 390 with 0.2s, which should equate to about 350 with 0.25s, I believe. Oop. Let's zoom in so you can actually see that. There we go. Shooting actually a little bit high. Oop. So, shoots at about 7.36 rounds per second, which is actually quite respectable. you can actually hear Bachnack doing a little tick. Sometimes you just gotta smack it. I'm not quite sure what that is. Oh, hey, look, after like 2 years. Well, whatever, that worked. So, 7 rounds per second, actually fairly respectable in my opinion. I don't particularly need higher than that. Probably going to drive it up so just a little bit higher, but it doesn't need to be crazy. Now I'm going to try and actually... Alright, so I've got my little Mobius powered on. Going to get that recording. And first I'm actually going to dial in the hop. So I'm actually going to pop out for a second and resume the video when I have the hop actually dialed in. Okay, so dialing in the hop took about 5 seconds. I'm testing it totally stock. The only modifications externally is I accidentally already kinked the feed tube that came with it, so I have a retro arms one installed, and I dropped in a new motor. It's shooting exactly the same rate of fire, it's just a far more efficient motor. I'd put in a, trying to remember, SHS Infinity, the 18,000 RPM one, I think. It shoots the same speed, maybe 1 round per second different. I just dropped that in for a bit more efficiency because the battery is just a buffer tube battery. Sits right in here. So, you know, this is like a 1300 round battery, so I want that to go as long as possible. So now, what I'm going to be aiming at is that pipe plate. Way over there. This is actually zoomed in a little bit. Let's zoom that out. So, there's a pipe plate hanging in the tree. That's probably 120 feet or so. I'm going to see if I can hit it. I'd say yes, quite handily. Let's just zoom in. That's like a standard actual pipe plate sized pipe plate. You know, standard like 9-incher. And like I said, that's probably minimum of 100 feet. So that's like size of a person's head practically. It's quite an accurate gun, honestly, and especially for suppressive purposes. It doesn't need to be all that crazy. It's, I mean, this is pretty much what you're doing with it. It's designed for keeping people's heads down. It's not designed for precision stuff. But anyway, altogether, I'm really enjoying this gun. I'm probably going to be bumping it to around 10 to 12 rounds per second. I'm putting in, hopefully, a Siege Tech gear set that I currently have. So that, plus I am putting in a new spring. I'm pushing it up to hopefully around 390 with 2 5s, like this one was, with 2 O's, because the games around here all use 2 5s. 400 is the limit. And that extra 30 feet per second is just a little bit helpful in punching through brush. I know it drops off really quickly, the velocity. I've got charts everywhere showing joules and velocity and all that stuff. But that extra little bit, quite often I feel like you're trying to punch through brush that is right in front of you as opposed to right in front of them. Because you might have a clear shot of them, but there's still leaves in front of you. And that's kind of what just a lot of stuff is good for. Yeah, I can stop recording on this. Why is it blue? That's weird. Whatever. So altogether, I'd say this is a really, really fun gun to use. It's kind of heavy. I've got a sling for it, a nice 2-pointer. It's not too killer though. Like it's, I don't know, about 10 pounds. It's not that bad. It'd probably end up being heavy over the span of a full day, but with a sling and whatnot, and it's still only 2/3 the weight of other light machine guns in its class. And honestly, this is just a really, really nice looking gun. I really like the style of it. Just really everything about it is honestly pretty well thought out. And it comes with a nice flip down sight, which is kind of cool. I'm going to be keeping this red dot on there. It actually lines up perfectly, absolutely perfectly, with the sights that come installed on the gun by default. I won't be having this camera on the gun when I use it, because I'm going to be keeping the front blade sight on. And also this camera is like a 6x zoom, so it's considerably more useful on a gun that you actually want to really see what the target is. with this one, it'll be fine just having a helmet camera and just laying out. And it just looks, like I just said this, but it looks really nice. I like the aesthetic style of it. I like the minimalist Battle Link stock that I installed because it's similar to the default stock. It's got less wobble. I've got a nice sling hook plate installed. You can't really see it that clearly, but there's loops. It's well made. I really like it. It's full metal. It's nice, that blued steeled right up here. It's balanced nicely. It's got good heft. It feels like I think a saw should. So yeah, so that's the shooting test of it. I'm gonna bring this back inside and take it apart pretty much to do some upgrades because in like, what's the day, Friday? Yeah, in 7 days I'm leaving, driving 3 hours to head down to Autumn Justice 8 in Bourne, Mass, run by Stag Ops, and that's gonna be this thing's debut game. I might not be running it. I'm probably gonna be running my Tar. I might end up running this thing though. I really like it. But somebody on the squad's going to be using it. Might be me. Morgan from Pneumatic Musketeers, signing out.